I'm at the Simracing Expo in Dortmund, Germany this weekend, which means I was able to be one of the first to try out the new Assetto Corsa EVO ahead of its early access release. They had 3 combos available to choose from, and here's my impressions for all 3. First up was the Hyundai i30N at Brands Hatch. This is on a drying track, and you know, this is obviously a sort of normal road car. You can see the driver model with no gloves, which is kind of neat. And yeah, I'm not going to comment too much on the physics here, just because I don't drive these kind of cars in so much, so I'm just not really best placed to say. But you know, graphically, this game looked great. You might notice there's a flock of birds that flies over you the first time you go through the Grand Prix loop, which might get a bit tiring the millionth time we see it, but for now, that's a kind of nice touch that makes the environment seem a bit more alive. And you know, there's plenty of trackside objects as well. They've added a Ferris wheel at the exit of turn 1. I don't really know why games do that. Project Cars did that too. One of my pet peeves is Ferris wheel at Brands Hatch, but nonetheless it's a rather alive feeling environment, which is quite nice. Graphically it's really nice, and you know, I don't drive this sort of car much, but from the feedback the game's given me through this setup, the Fanatic setup you see here, I was able to sort of try and figure it out a bit as I went. You know, I was learning from what the car was doing and telling me, so you know, that part of it, you know, felt good and promising on what the sort of feedback and driving experience is in this game. Next up was a race in the Porsche Cups at Imola. This is actually a time transition race as well. They'd obviously sped it up a little bit, so we go into the night as it goes on. And again, graphically, this looks great. The lighting as it gets darker and at night is very, very nice. Particularly at night, there's a lot of sort of ambient lighting around the racetrack. Imola, of course, not a floodlit racetrack, but there is light from sources trackside, and in particular when there's a yellow flag. I love this. When there's a yellow flag, the lights on the gantries along the side of the track flash, along with the HUD, of course, showing you yellow flag, and this light kind of shines the whole area around, so like you can see the reflection of like the yellow light in the tarmac below in the dark, which I think is just really nice and immersive and cool looking. Driving wise, this car feels great. It gave me the confidence to push a bit. This is more my sort of car. I don't really drive the Porsche Cup in particular much, but it's a race car, and yeah, it's very fun to try and push. As I got used to it, I could become quite confident on the brakes, and you know, plenty of feedback. Oh, and running over the curbs feels great. We could not really replicate the sort of pogo stickness that you might get in ACC sometimes, you know, where the car kind of bounces up and down once you go over a curb. It doesn't do that. It behaves much more like I would expect a car to do over the curbs, certainly a race car anyway, and that's great. You can sort of attack the curbs with much more confidence than I think you can in ACC, so that's one of my pet peeves sort of sorted. In a moment, you're going to see an AI off on the left. I had a bunch of AI crashes in my race as well, which is fantastic. I love to see AI that actually has its own incidents amongst themselves, you know, nothing to do with you, because, you know, that's what happens. That's realistic, right? There was an AI car in mine that was stuck on the side of the track for like a whole lap. They were still there when I came back round. But, you know, it's early access, sort of alpha build, so these are sort of things that can be fixed with time. But, you know, the AI was fun to race. They do kind of back out a bit if you're alongside, but a lot of AI is like that. But in general, until you were like side by side in the corner, they wouldn't back out. Like on the straight, they're gonna try and keep going and stay alongside you. So that was really good to see, and it was fun to race this combo. The last combo was the Alpine A110 at Mount Panorama in the pouring rain, as you can see, and my goodness, this combo is scary. This is a street car with street tires, as the rep warned me as I stepped into the booth, and yeah, this is hella fun. Rain physics feel great, way more immersive, I think, than ACC's rain. Yeah, probably, you know, closer to what iRacing have, and you know, time will tell if it's as good as that, really. And you know, so far so good. As you can see, it's tough, but it's a lot of fun. The aquaplaning feels great. You can visually see puddles forming around. Like there's one particularly bad one on the inside of this corner here, which just sends you wide sort of every time. You've got to be prepared for it. It really catches you out, and that feels great. I couldn't figure out if it shared the same thing with iRacing, where because the typical dry racing line is smoother because of wear than offline, whether that affects the grip in the wet. I tried braking sort of on the racing line and then off of the typical racing line, and at least in my limited experience in a car that I have no familiarity with, I didn't really feel a noticeable difference, so I don't think so from what I can feel. I know they've already confirmed that sort of the drying and wetting, I guess, is dynamic, so you know, where you drive will dry the track, but whether or not the baked in nature of the worn part of the track versus the non-worn part of the track is in there, similar to iRacing, I couldn't tell. I don't know if they've made a comment on that in particular, but I can't feel it with this combo, so I don't think so. But you know, early days, and yeah, I'm not familiar with the car very much, and I had 10 minutes or so, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But ultimately, this rain feels fantastic, graphically amazing as well, just a very immersive experience, and you're very on edge with this combo. Yeah, exactly how rain driving should feel, you know, you're really wheeling the thing to get it round, feeling like you're in danger a lot of the time. That's what it's all about, so they've nailed that for sure. It's a lot of fun, and if it's as good as this on other combos, then we're in for a treat. So there's my impressions of the 3 demos that we were able to try this weekend. Let me know what you think about what you see in the comments below, or if you were at the expo as well, let me know what you think as well in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree on any of this. It'd be interesting to see what everyone thinks. I'll be back with another video on my general Sim Racing Expo impressions in the next few days. Be sure to subscribe to look out for that. And yeah, I'll catch you next time.